Hey, what's up? I wanted to do a quick video on Loop Hero, mainly because I feel like it's a game that needs a little bit more recognition, and I ended up having a lot more fun with it than I initially thought during the Indie Game Jam on Steam. I've also been following the artist on Twitter for quite some time, and really enjoyed his stuff, and did not know that it was being made for a game. So that was definitely a big entry point for me, was the art. I heard a pretty big YouTuber call this game ugly.
It kind of looks really ugly, I know.
Which I guess is fine because it's okay to have objectively wrong opinions. The story revolves around a lich that turned the world into like this black abyss and threw the world into a never-ending loop of chaos. And you, the hero, are trying to find a way to kill the lich and change the world back to the way it was. The gameplay is basically a auto battler with some light deck building aspects to it, at least in the demo. And I feel like the deck building might turn a lot of people off, but it is so minimal in the beginning that it is very easy to just jump into an expedition and play. So the actual expedition itself involves taking laps around a map while building out the terrain around you with your cards. The cards consist of anything between monsters and terrain like mountains and rocks and meadows. The mountains, rocks, and meadows can give you health as the day passes, and the monsters can help you get more loot and gear to prepare for the inevitable lich fight. There's a decent amount of strategy to where you place your cards, and on top of that, there's a good amount of strategy in the way that you pace putting down the monster cards, because you can quickly overwhelm yourself if you're not getting consistent gear to swap out. Some of the cards that have positive passive effects also have a hidden effect. For example, the mountain and rock cards, if you place too many of them too quickly, it will spawn a goblin camp, and they will absolutely smash your skull in early if you're not properly geared. There's another really cool instance where if you set up a 3x3 mountain area, it will spawn a giant mountain, and on top of the mountain will have harpy nests, and those harpies will actually fly down to the game board and fight you. I really like that these cards that have positive passives also have a consequence to using too many of them too quickly, because it creates this risk-reward scenario where you could intentionally put a ton of rocky region down on your map to get these enemies to spawn, these harder enemies to spawn, and then in turn get better loot earlier in the game. But you also run the risk of, if you don't pace it right, these monsters will definitely kill you early on. Pacing yourself in this game is very important because it determines whether or not you make it to the lich or you run home with your teeth kicked in. Running is a great option because you gain resources throughout your loops. You can take these resources back to your camp and create a blacksmith or a farm and many other things in the full release of the game. This gets you new game mechanics, and it can also get you new cards. Building the farm is very important because it nets you 2 cards. It gets you the wheat field card and the village card. It honestly sounds like I'm just explaining that episode of Adventure Time where they play Card Wars.
Okay, I go first. I floop the silo of truth.
Anyway, so you get those 2 cards, and when you go on an expedition and you use them, they will increase your survivability tenfold. This will help you get to the lich very easily. So then, how do you summon the lich? There's a bar right underneath the daytime bar that has a skull on it, and that fills up as you fill out the terrain on the game board, and once it fills up, the lich will spawn right on your camp. I have gotten to the lich about 10 times and died every single time because I was not paying attention to certain things or upgrading my camp. So I will tell you the steps to beating his calcium deficient ass. So step 1, what you want to do is you're going to load up an expedition, you're going to go through as much of it as you can and not summon the lich. Just do loops, get resources, and then get out. Step 2, take those resources back to your camp and build the gymnasium and the farm. The gymnasium will get you the village card, and the farm will get you the wheat field card. The blacksmith will make it so that when you start an expedition, you will have gear at the beginning and it will give you a big advantage against the starting monsters. Step 3. Throw those 2 new cards you got into your deck and start up an expedition. Do your run like you normally would and pace it well. Don't take on anything you don't think you can handle. Take your time. Put down those 2 new cards you have towards the campfire because it will get you the max amount of healing. The villages will also give you quests, and as you do the quests and you kill monsters, it will have you level up. It introduces this new mechanic where once you level up, you can pick a skill. As you're going through, there are these Oblivion cards. You're going to want to save every single one you get from the start, because if you hover over the Lich when you've been fighting him, he gets all of his power from the dominion that he spawns around him. So if you can destroy all of his little towers, then it will weaken him, he will not have a shield, and you can absolutely fuck him up. Alternatively, you can proactively build around where his buildings will spawn when he spawns, and that will negate his towers from spawning around him. As for gear, I would suggest going with the highest damaging weapon by the end. If you have a low damaging weapon but it has good effects on it, I would take the high damaging weapon over one that has effects on it, because it will save you a lot of time with the monsters and getting to the Lich. Stack anything that has health regen. Vampirism can be good if you can stack it high enough, and magic damage I found was pretty decent against the Lich as well, and most monsters in general. Yeah, shut up. Fight me. Ooh. This might be close. Oh, come on. Come on. Yes! Yes! No! What is this damage? Oh my god, please, 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 please. Please. Woo! I hope that I piqued your interest in the game, and I hope that you have an easier time with the Lich once you finally get to him. Let me know if you want more videos about Loop Hero. I'll definitely do more guides for the bosses in the future. That's it. See ya.